Demi Moore's story is one of strength, heartbreak, fame, and redemption. Her journey from a broken childhood to becoming one of Hollywood's most powerful women is filled with love, loss, and lessons that shaped her into the woman she is today. She was born on November 11, 1962, in Roswell, New Mexico. Her early life was extremely difficult. Her father left before she was even born, and her mother struggled to take care of her. Demi grew up in a home filled with chaos, alcohol abuse, and instability. Her family moved more than 30 times before she turned 14, leaving her feeling like she never had a real home. When Demi was only 12 years old, something happened that changed her forever. Her mother attempted to take her own life. Demi had to dig pills out of her mother's mouth with her small hands while her stepfather held her down. It was a horrifying experience that forced her to grow up long before she was ready. As she got older, things didn't get easier. When she was 15, she went through another heartbreaking event that left deep emotional scars. In her memoir, she revealed that her mother had allowed an older man to harm her for $500. That betrayal from her own mother haunted her for many years. School was another challenge for Demi. She struggled with dyslexia and needed surgeries on her eyes. By 16, she had dropped out of school and decided to live on her own. To survive, she worked different jobs, including modeling and even debt collection. At 17, searching for love and stability, she married a rock musician named Freddie Moore. The marriage didn't last long, only about 4 years, but she kept his last name for her career. Even though her life was filled with pain and uncertainty, Demi never gave up. She was determined to build something better for herself. At 19, she got her first big break when she was cast in the soap opera General Hospital, playing Jackie Templeton. Over 1,000 actresses had auditioned, but Demi stood out. The role paid just $750 per episode, but it gave her the start she needed. Her character was strong and independent, something rare for women on television at the time. Her talent and screen presence were undeniable, but off-screen, she was struggling with addiction. She partied heavily, often for days at a time, until her director Joel Schumacher decided to step in. He saw her potential and wanted to save her career before it was too late. When she was cast in St. Elmo's Fire, he made her a deal: get sober or lose the role. Demi chose to fight her addiction. The studio even paid someone to stay with her during filming to help her stay on track. Her decision changed her life. The movie became a huge success and made her a member of the famous Brat Pack, a group of young rising stars in the 1980s that included Rob Lowe and Emilio Estevez. While the label wasn't loved by the actors themselves, it made them household names. Her next big moment came in 1990 when she starred in Ghost with Patrick Swayze. The film became one of the biggest box office hits ever made, earning over $505 million worldwide on a modest budget. The emotional story, the chemistry between Demi and Patrick, and the now iconic pottery wheel scene set to Unchained Melody became unforgettable moments in film history. Her short haircut from the film even became a global fashion trend, with women everywhere copying her look. The movie's success earned Demi a Golden Globe nomination and a Saturn Award for Best Actress. At the same time, her husband Bruce Willis's Die Hard 2 was also a massive hit, making them one of Hollywood's most successful couples. After Ghost, Demi's career continued to climb. She starred in A Few Good Men alongside Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, showing her ability to hold her own in serious, male-dominated roles. The film earned over $243 million and cemented her status as one of the strongest female leads in Hollywood. Then came Indecent Proposal in 1993, where she played a married woman offered $1 million to spend one night with a stranger. The movie was controversial but wildly successful, earning over $267 million. Critics debated its morality, and feminists criticized it for treating women like property. Demi took the criticism personally but continued to take bold, challenging roles that broke boundaries for women in film. By the mid-1990s, she became the highest-paid actress in Hollywood, earning $12.5 million for her role in Striptease. The movie was controversial for its nudity and subject matter, but it showed her willingness to take risks. Then she stunned everyone again by shaving her head for G.I. Jane, where she played the first woman to complete Navy SEAL training. She did her own stunts and pushed herself to the limit physically and emotionally. She later said that playing a stripper upset women and playing a soldier upset men, but she didn't care. She wanted to challenge expectations. These two films showed two opposite sides of her, feminine and fierce, both equally powerful. Her personal life, however, was full of highs and lows. Her first marriage to Demi Moore ended when she was still very young and unsure of herself. Then came her whirlwind romance with Bruce Willis. They met in 1987 while she was still engaged to Emilio Estevez. But the connection with Bruce was instant. Just 4 months later, they were married in Las Vegas after a boxing match. Together, they became Hollywood royalty. They had 3 daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, and for a while they seemed like the perfect couple. But as their careers grew, they spent more time apart. Bruce wanted a more traditional family life, while Demi was breaking barriers in Hollywood. Even though their marriage ended in 1998 after 11 years, their divorce was surprisingly peaceful. They remained close friends and dedicated co-parents, even attending each other's weddings later in life. Demi worked hard to be both a mother and a movie star. When she was pregnant with her second daughter, Scout, she posed nude for the cover of Vanity Fair, celebrating motherhood in a way no celebrity had done before. The image became iconic and symbolized empowerment. After her divorce, Demi decided to step away from Hollywood to focus on raising her daughters. She moved to Idaho to give them a normal life, far away from fame and paparazzi. That decision showed how much she valued being a mother over being a star. Then in 2003, everything changed again. Demi met Ashton Kutcher at the premiere of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. She was 40, he was 25, and their connection was instant. Despite the 15-year age difference, they fell deeply in love. Within a day of meeting, they spent 8 hours on the phone, sharing their dreams and fears. Within weeks, Ashton met her daughters and even her ex-husband, Bruce, who supported their relationship. 2 months later, Ashton proposed in a romantic midnight beach picnic, spelling out "Marry Me" with rose petals and giving her a $250,000 diamond ring. They moved in together soon after and started a production company called Catalyst Films. They seemed unstoppable. But behind their happiness, tragedy struck when Demi suffered a miscarriage 6 months into her pregnancy. She was devastated. The loss broke her heart, and even though they went through grief counseling together, it left a permanent scar. The media couldn't get enough of their relationship. The 15-year age gap became a constant topic of jokes and headlines. Comedians made fun of Demi being a cougar, and the press followed them everywhere. But Demi handled it with humor, even appearing on Saturday Night Live wearing old-age makeup to make fun of the attention. In 2005, Demi and Ashton married in a private ceremony at their Beverly Hills home with about 100 guests, including Bruce Willis. Demi's daughters read heartfelt letters to Ashton, who gave each girl a Cartier love bracelet to show his promise to their family. Bruce was reportedly moved to tears. For a while, their family seemed happy. They spent time together in Idaho, went on vacations, and often included Bruce in their family gatherings. Ashton became a loving stepfather, attending the girls' school events and learning how to braid their hair. He even took parenting classes, saying love doesn't divide, it grows. But behind the smiles, cracks began to form. The pressure of public scrutiny, Demi's insecurities, and Ashton's rising fame began to weigh heavily on their relationship. Demi, still haunted by her past trauma and the pain of her miscarriage, struggled with substance abuse again. She wanted to stay youthful and perfect for Ashton, but lost herself in the process. Eventually, their relationship fell apart. In 2011, reports surfaced of Ashton being unfaithful, and their marriage ended in 2013. The divorce devastated Demi. She spiraled into addiction and emotional breakdowns. In her memoir, Inside Out, she revealed that she had been using drugs again and nearly died after collapsing from an overdose at a party. It was a dark period that forced her to confront everything she had tried to escape her entire life: her childhood pain, her insecurities, and her need to be loved. Now, at 62, Demi has come full circle. She has made peace with her past, repaired her relationship with her daughters, and embraced the woman she is today, strong, wise, and unapologetic. She has shared her story openly, including the miscarriage she once kept secret, the affairs she regrets, and the addiction that nearly destroyed her. Demi Moore's life is proof that even after the most painful falls, it's possible to rise again. She's no longer defined by the men she loved or the mistakes she made, but by her courage to keep going, to heal, and to inspire others to do the same. Ashton Kutcher became a positive influence in Demi Moore's daughters' lives from the very beginning. He encouraged their interests and made an effort to be part of their world. He helped Rumor set up her first Twitter account and even produced her film The Whole 10 Yards. Scout credited Ashton for inspiring her love for technology, which later led her to study computer science in college. He was enthusiastic, kind, and eager to help, but stepping into a fatherly role with 3 daughters wasn't always simple. Tallulah once shared that Ashton's presence confused her at first because she didn't know how to accept him as part of their family. Rumor even admitted she had a small crush on Ashton before he started dating her mother, which made things a bit awkward in the beginning. Despite these emotional complexities, Ashton handled the situation with patience and care. He attended the girls' events, cheered for them, and made himself available as a friend and mentor. Even after he and Demi split, Ashton remained close to them. He publicly supported Rumor during her time on Dancing with the Stars and congratulated her when she announced her pregnancy years later. In 2020, Ashton said in an interview that he would always love Demi's daughters and would continue to root for them, showing that his connection with the family was real and long-lasting. Before their relationship began falling apart, Demi and Ashton shared one of the most heartbreaking experiences of their lives. Demi, who was 41 at the time, became pregnant, and the couple was thrilled. They planned everything, already imagining life with their baby girl, Chaplin Ray. But 6 months into the pregnancy, during a regular checkup on September 23, 2003, they were told the devastating news that their baby no longer had a heartbeat. The loss shattered Demi. She had been sober for nearly 20 years but began blaming herself, thinking her occasional drinking and smoking during the early weeks had caused it. The guilt consumed her and she slipped into depression. She started drinking again and began taking painkillers like Vicodin to numb her emotions. Her body weakened, and she dropped to just 98 pounds. She and Ashton tried everything to conceive again, including multiple rounds of IVF, but nothing worked. Demi said years later that she felt broken, empty, and completely lost during that time. The miscarriage didn't just affect her health, it changed their relationship. Ashton, though he cared deeply, couldn't fully understand the depth of Demi's grief. In her memoir, Inside Out, Demi wrote that Ashton tried to support her, but often couldn't connect emotionally to what she was feeling. The gap between them grew wider as time went on. In a desperate attempt to keep their marriage alive, Demi agreed to things that went against her own values. She later revealed that Ashton wanted to try threesomes, and although she was uncomfortable, she went along with it because she didn't want to lose him. Instead of saving their relationship, it made her feel humiliated and disconnected. They both also turned to spirituality, attending sessions at the Kabbalah Center in Los Angeles and even traveling to Israel for spiritual retreats, hoping it would bring them closer. But their problems ran deeper than faith or therapy could fix. The constant pressure to have a baby, Demi's relapse into addiction, and their significant age difference made their relationship fragile. Things collapsed completely when rumors of Ashton's infidelity surfaced. On their 6th wedding anniversary, September 24, 2011, Ashton reportedly spent the night with a 22-year-old woman named Sarah Leal. The painful twist was that Demi had already met Sarah before, at a bowling alley, where Sarah had boldly given Ashton her number right in front of her and her daughter. Demi discovered the affair not from Ashton, but from a Google alert on her phone just as she was getting ready for a red carpet event. When she confronted him, Ashton confessed. The betrayal left her speechless. She said later that she couldn't breathe, that the shock felt like being crushed from the inside. Even worse, she found out that he had cheated before with a 21-year-old woman named Brittany Jones. When she tried to understand why, Ashton told her that their threesomes had blurred the lines in their relationship. It was another knife to her heart. The news became public quickly, and suddenly her private pain was in the headlines everywhere. Just days after the scandal broke, Demi had to appear alongside Ashton at a charity event for their Foundation Against Human Trafficking. She stood beside him, smiling for cameras, knowing the truth of what he had done. It was humiliating and deeply painful. On November 17, 2011, Demi announced that she was separating from Ashton. She said the decision was incredibly difficult, but necessary for her to stay true to herself. Their divorce dragged on for 2 years before it was finalized in late 2013. After the marriage ended, both struggled to move on. Ashton later admitted that the divorce made him feel like a failure, while Demi's life spiraled into one of its darkest periods. She fell back into addiction after nearly 2 decades of sobriety. On January 23, 2012, things reached a terrifying point. During a party at her home in Benedict Canyon, she had a seizure after inhaling nitrous oxide and smoking synthetic cannabis. Paramedics were called, and she was rushed to the hospital. The incident shocked Hollywood and exposed just how much she was suffering. Her addictions worsened in the years that followed. She started taking up to 12 Vicodin pills a day, often mixing them with vodka and energy drinks. She became obsessed with her body image, spending hours staring at herself in the mirror, convinced she wasn't thin enough. At one point, she weighed only 102 pounds. Her body began to shut down from exhaustion and malnutrition, and she suffered multiple seizures. During this dark time, Demi isolated herself completely. She avoided her family and friends, shutting everyone out. She even missed Rumor's 30th birthday and other important family moments. Finally, in September 2012, she checked into a high-end rehab center in Utah called Cirque Lodge, which cost $150,000 a month. It was a turning point, but healing would take much longer than treatment. The damage her addiction caused extended far beyond herself. It fractured her relationship with her daughters. For 3 years, Demi and her daughters Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah didn't speak. Tallulah, who was 25 at the time, said it was one of the scariest times of her life. She remembered how her mother's behavior could change suddenly, one moment affectionate, the next distant and confused. The emotional strain caused Tallulah to develop her own eating disorder and body image issues. Rumor was filled with anger and grief, saying that her mother's addiction had taken away years of her life she could never get back. Scout felt abandoned and unloved. By 2012, all 3 daughters had cut contact. Demi didn't even see them on her 50th birthday. But in 2015, something changed. Tallulah had just finished her own rehab program and decided to reach out to her mother. It was the first time they had seen each other in 3 years. Demi immediately flew to New York to meet her. The reunion was emotional and difficult, but it was the beginning of healing. They entered therapy and began attending family counseling sessions regularly for over a year. Their reconciliation became public in 2019. When the family appeared together on Red Table Talk, it was an emotional conversation. Tallulah spoke about feeling abandoned. Rumor admitted she used to have panic attacks at the thought of seeing her mother, and Scout confessed to years of anger and resentment. Demi listened, took accountability, and expressed deep regret for how her actions had hurt them. They slowly began rebuilding their bond, and by 2017 they spent a week at a wellness retreat in Arizona that brought them even closer. Today, their relationship is stronger than ever. They celebrate holidays together, support one another's projects, and share heartfelt posts on social media. In 2022, for Demi's 60th birthday, her daughters surprised her by getting matching tattoos of the word mother in her handwriting, a powerful symbol of their renewed love and connection. Demi's friendship with her ex-husband Bruce Willis has also remained unbreakable. Even after their divorce in 2000, they stayed close and continued raising their daughters as a united family. When Bruce was diagnosed with aphasia in 2022, Demi was among the first to show public support. She frequently visits him and spends time with Bruce's wife, Emma Hemming Willis, and their blended family. In 2023, Demi joined the Willis family to celebrate Bruce's 68th birthday. She posted a video of everyone singing Happy Birthday together, and the clip quickly went viral for its warmth and love. Their friendship has inspired many, showing that even after a painful past, forgiveness and respect can last a lifetime. Demi even attended Bruce's Comedy Central roast in 2019, where she joked, "I was married to Bruce for the first 3 Die Hard movies," which makes sense because the last 2 sucked. The audience loved it. and it proved that the two still shared laughter and mutual admiration. At 62, Demi Moore is a completely different person from the one she once was. On her 2024 birthday, she told Vogue that she's discovered the most important relationship in her life, the one with herself. She no longer seeks someone else to complete her. She feels whole on her own and calls this phase of her life solo partnering. It's not about rejecting love, but about prioritizing her happiness, independence, and peace of mind. Demi said she's not actively searching for romance, but she's open to it if it happens naturally. Her philosophy resonated with thousands, and soon after the interview, the hashtag #SoloPartnering went viral online. She has been on only a few carefully chosen dates in the past year, one of which was with an astrophysicist she met at a TED Talk. They went stargazing in the Mojave Desert, not as lovers, but as two people who shared deep curiosity about life and the universe. Demi described the evening as one of the most meaningful experiences she's ever had. Perhaps one of the most surprising developments in her life is her friendship with Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher's wife. Instead of holding on to bitterness, Demi chose forgiveness. She and Mila even started a small book club together, meeting every 2 weeks to discuss books, life, and personal growth. Fans admire how gracefully Demi has moved beyond the pain of her past, turning it into wisdom. Now she focuses on her family, her health, and her passions. She's open to love but no longer defines her worth by it. She says that if she ever falls in love again, it will be with someone who adds joy and depth to her life, not someone she depends on to feel whole. And as a final touch of humor and love, she insists that whoever that person is, they must adore her little dog Pilaf, her furry companion who's become a star on social media with over 2 million followers. Through all the heartbreak, fame, and struggle, Demi Moore has come to embody strength and healing. She's proof that no matter how dark life becomes, it's possible to find light again, especially when that light comes from within.